Hello guys, and it's me, Unlimited Cooteray, with a new video. I'm going to be doing my top 5 favorite Final Fantasy games. Now, Final Fantasy and me have a long history. I love Final Fantasy games, all the ones I've played. So, and also, just a caution and everything, Final Fantasy 7 and 6 are not gonna be on here. I haven't played much of them. I have played them, but not much of them. And just please don't get mad at me. So, with that being said, let's get this video on the start. Alright, so on number 5 will be Final Fantasy 3. Now, Final Fantasy 3 was originally released on the Nintendo Famicom system in Japan only. So yeah, and it was released on the day of April 27th, 1990. Very, very old, but it was also re-released on the DS and iOS and Android and a bunch of other things. Now, of course, the only one I played on was actually the DS remake, and it was really, really fun. I'll have to admit it was really, really, really fun. So in the original game, you were just 3 Onion Knights. No, not 3. 4 Onion Knights that were orphans, and you were the Heroes of Light to protect all the crystals. But in Final Fantasy III, the remake for the DS, it was quite a bit different, because you actually had actual characters. The characters' names were Lunith, Arc, Refla, and Ingus. Sorry, I keep on getting those two mixed up. And you'll see what I mean very shortly. Well, not very shortly, but within this video. So, with Lunith, he was the brave kind of hero adventure type person. Really cool and everything, but he kind of looked like a girl. Well, and Arc was the bookwormy kind of kept to himself kind of guy that wanted to be himself, be his own person and everything. While Ingus was the loyal knight of... Here, give me a second. I keep on forgetting the kingdom's name. Loyal knight of Sasune. Oh, Sasune. Yeah, I keep on forgetting the name of the kingdom. It doesn't matter. Anyways, he was the loyal and brave knight of Castle Sasune. And Refla, she was the rebellious daughter of a blacksmith. And it really shows that she is actually really, really rebellious. And their mission was to stop the entity called the Cloud of Darkness that was accidentally summoned by the character Xander. And what she wanted to do was, the Cloud of Darkness, what she wanted to do was turn the world into a world of nothingness. Now, what I loved about the game was actually right at the start of the game, all the main characters' interactions with each other were really funny, and I really liked them. But also, I love the job class. I know nobody really likes the job class of that game. I loved it. So yeah, Final Fantasy 3 is getting number 5 spot. Let's go move on to number 4, which is Final Fantasy 15. Now, people, please don't get mad at me. I love this game. Again, I love all the Final Fantasy games. It's just, this is my own thoughts and what I like, you know? So, with Final Fantasy 15, it was released on a bunch of now-gen systems. All of them. Well, except for poor Nintendo. So, it was released on November 29th, 2016. And it was a really, really good game. One of my favorites, again. And it was the very first Final Fantasy game to actually be open world. And it was a single player game with a story. And I loved it for that. It had a lot of fun things. Your main character was Noctis. He was the only one that you could play as, which is kind of different for a Final Fantasy game, because pretty much all of them to this point you were able to play as the whole party. But in this game, you're only Prince Noctis. So Prince Noctis is the rightful heir to the kingdom of Lucis, or Lucius, whatever you want to call it. Don't matter. And he's followed by his friends Ignis, told you you'll see him soon, Prompto, and Gladios. That one I don't know how to frickin' say. Oh well, but the story is that Noctis was sent out of this kingdom by his father, Regis. And when he was sent out, the other army, I keep on forgetting the army's name, Niflheim, attacked their kingdom and killed his father. Now they've taken up that kingdom, and it's up to you to be Noctis and reclaim his kingdom and become king. Now, what I really, really liked about the game was the open worldness of this game. You got to do a lot of things. You could go on hunts. You could do all kinds of things. And I also really loved the Colosseum. I really, really liked that bit. Where you could just go out, and I've spent hours upon hours just betting on fights and seeing who would win with the monsters, and that was fun as hell. And with that being said, that is number 4. Now, moving on to number 3, which is Final Fantasy IV. I love this game. I love it a lot. It has a lot of good things going for it. So it was originally released on the Super Nintendo, and it was released as Final Fantasy II in the West, because we didn't get the original 2 and 3 originally. So yeah, this was your Final Fantasy II if you lived in the West, and not in Japan. Jesus Christ. So it was originally released on the date of June 14th, 1991. But later on it was moved into it was remade a bunch of times. Sorry, I get kind of caught up in my words, and I do apologize for that. And the one that I played a lot was the DS remake, and it had one function on the DS that never had on the other ones, and that was the Wyatt summon, or White, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. And I really liked it, and I hope that they bring something like that again. So it starred you as the Dark Knight Cecil Harvey. And of course you play as a bunch of other characters, but really Cecil Harvey is the main character through that game. And it was the first Final Fantasy game that when you actually went and talked to somebody, they would actually say something that was meaningful, not just like oh, this is about the story, or this is something. No, like this was actually like an interaction kind of thing. So I like that about that game. And also, they would change what they said or what they did depending on who was in lead of your party. So yeah, you could actually see some really funny things. And also, another really cool thing about this game is if you pause the game, you'd be able to read what the main character is actually, not the main character, but your leader is thinking, which was really, really cool, and I really liked it. So, now for the story of the game, it revolves 4 crystals that are being taken from by a character named Golbez, and you must go and stop them. And you start seeing other dark things, and just, it's really, really intense, and I really don't want to tell you anything that would actually make you, I don't want to spoil you, because it's a really, really good game, and please go pick it up. It's very nice, very fun, and what I liked about it was how dark it was. It was one of the darker Final Fantasy games, and also, I just loved going to all the towns and seeing what everyone would say to every character that I was. So with that being said, this is number 3 of my top 5 favorite Final Fantasy games. Alright, starting to go with number 2. Now, these two, the last of these, number 2 and number 1, were really, really close. But I had to give number 1 a little bit over than number 2. So, number 2 will be Final Fantasy IX. Another game I freaking love. So, this game was originally released on the PlayStation at the year of 2000 in July 7th. So, it had a lot of characters that you could be. Not as many as the other Final Fantasy games, but still quite a few. But the main character was Zidane, or Zidane, or whatever you want to call him. So, the story is that there's a character named Kuja that is trying to destroy all existence because of his existence being a genome. I cannot tell you anything further than that because that would just ruin the story. Now, what I like about the game is that it had a whole entire kind of dark story that really just makes you really, really care about the characters and what's happening in the game, which is really fun. And also it was at medieval times, so yeah, it had that going for it. And another little thing I liked, it had one of the earliest mini games ever. And it was a mini game, card game. I forgot what it was called. I do apologize. And what this mini game card game, you take cards that are all the enemies of the game, and you do battle kind of thing, but really different, and I can't really explain it. So, number 2 is Final Fantasy IX. Now, for number 1, my favorite Final Fantasy game ever. And it is Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. My favorite Final Fantasy game. Now, again, please don't get mad at me. So, with Final Fantasy Type 0, it was originally released on the PSP in the year of 2011 and on the date of October 27th. Here's the thing. It was, of course, another one of the games that was only released in Japan until it had the HD remake, which was on Xbox One and PS4 and other consoles, I bet you. But, here's the thing. That it took 4 years. 4 years for the game to get here. On March 17th, 2015, the game finally came to us. And the story of the game was that you were Class 0. And you must fight a war against the Militesi Army. Or Empire, or whatever you want to call them. So now, what I liked about this game was that the playstyle. It was completely different than any of the other games, and I actually really liked it. It was like a prototype version of Final Fantasy 15's playstyle was, but I liked Type Zero's quite a bit more. And pretty much, you are Class Zero. You're not just one character, no, you're a bunch of characters in this game. Probably the most of any Final Fantasy game. Please don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that is it. And so, the whole entire game's story was that war that you must fight in. And so, what other things I liked about the game was that it wasn't just a one-on-one war or whatever, and you're not just going in fighting and blah blah blah. No, you actually really could take part. You could go and before your missions, you go and take breaks at this school, and you could go talk to people and whatever, see what they're saying and whatever. And you could also do little side quests, or you can go out and adventure the world and go hunting or whatever, or just go grinding. Do whatever you want pretty much in that game. And there was 4 factions, but one was destroyed in the game. So then it left 3, and it had a lot of good characters. So that is it for my top 5 favorite Final Fantasy games. Please subscribe, push that bell notification, and also, I've recently made a podcast. It's on quite a few things: Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, other kinds of podcasts. It's called The Unlimited Cooteray Show. So I hope you could go and find that. And also, please follow me on my social medias at Unlimited Cooteray on Instagram and Twitter. And anyways, remember people, stay edgy.